So, I recently did a video on the worst plants of every family in Plant vs Zombies 2, and you all seem to enjoy that quite a bit. So now let's have a look at the busted plants. The lawn clearers, the zombie zappers, the World Wrestling Foliage Champions, the suspects of power creep. As with the worst list, this covers Adventure, Premium, Gemium and Seedium plants, and also, as with the worst list, it's just my opinion. Mints and vines are discounted. I think that's all I have to cover, so I'm Golden Ninja Vlogspot. Please hit subscribe, please hit like, and let's begin. First up is Peppermint, and my pick is Fire Peashooter. Immediately open with some controversy, since some people think she is only a marginal upgrade over Repeater and isn't anything special. However, she is a very powerful attacker, dominating in Frostbite Caves and putting Pepperpole out of a job. She's fairly accessible and in my opinion is one of the first Gemium plants you should get. She becomes very overpowered with levelling, gaining the random chance of firing a Plasma Pea. And yes, I'm factoring levelling in this list. Suck it, hardcore fans who think there's only one way to play the game. Overall, just a very solid attacking plant that doesn't really have any weaknesses unless you religiously use ice plants, or while playing one of very few levels with Imp Dragons. Spearmint now, and my pick is the Pokra. Now this is quite literally a Clash of the Titans, as the two plants I would consider to be the most broken ones in the game come from the Spearmint family, those being Pokra and Heathseeker. Heath is a plant I've spoken about before. Literal lawn clearer that is cheaper than the goddamn cherry bomb and only has a 20-second recharge, whereas Pokra has pretty much every attribute a power-hungry yakker could ever ask for. Extremely powerful melee damage, infinite piercing, slowing, fires a projectile, is pretty cheap. She legitimately kills even tougher zombies so quickly that using a defensive plant with her is actually a waste of resources. That's why I'll give her the edge over Heathseeker, who is a little RNG and falters in situations where zombies have buffed health. Despite her cooldown seemingly making her vulnerable to attack, two Pokras can kill an infinite amount of even Jurassic Gargantuas. I rest my case. For Conceal-Mint, I've got Blover. As much as you may not want to admit it, this guy is broken as hell. He pretty much trivialises airborne zombies since he blows away the entire board, costs just 50 sun and recharges very quickly, so he's very accessible. He can no longer be used as an easy cheese for Pirate Seas and Lost City as you're forced to play the worlds in order, and Far Future is after these two worlds, but he still makes things a lot easier in his home world. And the combos! Even with the Spring Bean one removed, he can still be paired up with Child Guard, Primal Peashooter, Reinforcement, and more to easily yeet the zombies off the lawn. Out of him and Hurry Kale, I personally prefer Hurry Boy, but do I think he's better than Blover? Probably not, due to his lack of full board range, although I do prefer using him to affect non-flying zombies. The sheer cheese ability with Blover puts him as the most busted Conceal-Mint plant. Ail-Mint is next, and Impair is my choice. This family is not particularly strong overall, with stinkers such as Garlic, Blooming Heart, Scaredy Shroom, and now Sea Shroom, but does have one pretty damn strong one, Impair. This guy is one of those plants that does a lot more than you first might think. Basically, if a zombie eats the plant, they can be seriously weakened by being turned into an imp. And just like the Blover, it recharges incredibly fast, and it isn't just cheap, it's free. Yep, you don't have to spend a thing to neutralise the likes of Discotrons, newspaper zombies, jesters, and his plant food can transform non-eaters. As for his other attribute, making imps themselves fart and die, this can be used to quickly dispatch imps and stun trailing zombies with a gas, and it's a nice hack for imps thrown by Gargantuas for some easy, free paralysis. Another tactic is to pop 2 on tile turnips so zombies have a chance to get impified, and the same imps then fatally farting. Overall, an extremely powerful tool plant. Appease-Mint is one I honestly could not decide on. Yeah, sorry, but I have to leave you all hanging for a little bit, alright? I made a community poll on this because I was in two minds on Torchwood versus Mega Gatling P, but there was a pretty landslide victory here. Sure, Torchwood went from being Assist Master to Vanquish Master with a big buff that increased his HP and gave him melee and on destruction damage, but then there's Mega Gatling P who can automatically plant food himself. Yep, and not only that, but he gains an extra shot in his primary attack as an add-on to the PF. Hey, they weren't lying when they said he was a Mega Gatling P. And we're talking about a plant that has insane synergy with a Torchwood and P-Vine, and this is an absolutely cracked combo in Arena. Of course, you have the slight price tag disadvantage, but his firepower makes him worth using as opposed to a duo of repeaters. For Bombard-Mint, I've picked the Primal Potato Mine. A lot of power in this class, just by virtue of the fact it encompasses Cherry Bomb and all of his upgrades, side grades, cousins, and of course, the Pointless button. For a long time, the Primal Spud was easily the most cracked plant of this family, then he got a serious contender in the name of Teleportato Mine. Yet another instance of a modern sieging plant being game-breaking beyond belief. The Lady Spud functions like a PPM that doesn't need arming time and can grab a minimum of 3 zombies, specifically the ones closer to the house, and blow them up with a 3x3 area. However, I still have to give PPM the edge. His explosion radius can increase with levelling unlike TPM, and TPM also lacks plant food, which is one of PPM's most disgusting assets. Especially in Arena, it can clear hordes and gain ridiculously high scores. I mean, it's kind of the best adventure plant in the game, so this shouldn't be too surprising. Now, Conceal-Mint, and my choice is Shadow Peashooter. This one is essentially a one-on-one battle between the Shadow Pea and Dusk Globber, while the rest watch on, and I can see why one may favour Dusk. She has insane splash and multi-lane functionality, but I think Shadow Peashooter is pretty damn overpowered. He's basically a cheaper laser beam. Yep, cheaper than the goddamn plant he's basically an upgrade of. He stalls, and if a zombie gets close, he can drag them down, and he gets 2 charges of this when powered. Sure, he does require the Moonflower, and if a zombie even gets remotely close to him, he will duck and do his Grimrose attack on them, which can be annoying, but that doesn't take away from the pure power the Swiss Army knife of PVZ 2 provides. For Arma-Mint, I've got the Sticky Bomb Rice. I think most people would say this is between Sticky Bomb and Turkey Pult, and Turkey is very good, but I feel like she kind of relies on stunning plants to be truly effective, since the zombies can gobble up the turkeys very quickly. Sticky Bomb, however, has explosion damage with a very high radius, stalling, multi-lane, can attack from behind, and her projectiles cannot be blocked or deflected by jesters, shields, or parasols. I mean, yes please. One can solo a bucket head with relative ease due to the stalling effect, and her only weakness is that she can't target flying zombies, but you remember what I said about Blover earlier. The best reinforcement plant is the Broccoli. This guy should count his lucky stars that the plant's name and design do not factor in, because sweet baby Jesus. A hybrid attack and defense plant that absolutely outshines the likes of Peanut and Endurian. The Broccoli, the second tankiest plant in the game only to Toolnut, has stunning effects and can two-shot a basic zombie at base level. Also, for some reason, he is completely immune to Excavator and Fisherman zombies. How about that? For Fila-Mint, I've got the Electric Peashooter. As well as being probably the biggest tumour in Garden Warfare 2, EP, the key to make zombies flee, is pretty much the crowd control king of PVZ 2. He was quite an obvious choice for me. Some may argue Magnifying Glass are the best, but EP tears through lanes and the orbs can trickle into other lanes at the lenient price of 200 sun. Yeah, lenient price. The only complaint is that I've always thought his plant food is kind of underwhelming, but that may be my prejudice as a result of his main attack being so insanely broken that makes his PF look weak. Enlighten-Mint is up next, and my weapon of choice is Goldbloom. This one's relatively straightforward. You get a 3 bursts of sun instantly that allows you to start setting up stuff incredibly quickly, including fairly pricey plants. Of course it recharges very slowly, 75 seconds at base level, which means it isn't usually practical to use it as your only sun producer and should pair it up with a primary one, so I was tempted to give this spot to Primal Sunflower. But this thing is basically a lifeline in levels that are very rushy at the beginning, such as the expansion levels. And what's more, you can use an imitated Goldbloom to get 750 extra sun at the start of a level, or if you need an emergency stack of sun, you can use instant recharge to get it back immediately. The only real drawback is that since it disappears, it's usually a bad choice in don't lose more than X plant levels. But besides that, this plant is basically a cheat code, and the only premium plant that truly fuels the incorrect argument that the game is pay to win. The best Enchant-Mint plant is Shrinking Violet. Not the most stacked family overall, but has its strengths. Case in point, the Midget Maker, the Dwarf Definer, the Threat Truncator, the Shrinking Violet. I was split between Shrinking V and Collar Power, and the latter is easily the best out of the 3 full board instant neutralizer plants, and can make some tough, non-eating zombies fight for you. However, he is reliant on good RNG and has a lower chance to target tougher zombies. Shrinking Violet makes zombies in a 3x3 area lose 50% of their toughness, sends imps and smaller zombies into the Shadow Realm, and also has a few zombie specific debuffs. including disabling pushing zombies from pushing their items, and reducing the MC zombies range to just 1 tile. What tips her over the edge is that her plant food is full board, which is just bonkers. And then they made her Gemium instead of Premium so you can get her for free. Fair and balanced. And for Winter-Mint, I've gone for Wintermelon. Yes, I know they're the recently revived Ice Room, which is a contender for the best plant in the entire game, but... well, firstly, I've drafted this video before Ice Room even came out. And secondly, I refuse to let another top spot go to a modern busted and completely unbalanced plant. So the spiritual runner-up is bumped up to the top. Wintermelon Pole needs no introduction. 3x3 area of effect, chilling, splash damage. He may be a little costly, but sticking just 2 of them in the 2nd and 4th lanes contributes a great amount of chilling. And then when you get enough sun, you can stick one in every lane. He's exceptional in pretty much every level without a sun deficit. He's basically the king of endless. He's up there in Arena 2. Is it any wonder that back when there were only 3 worlds, he was principally the grand prize? And finally, Enforcement, and I've picked the Rubarbarian. Well, that stipulation of avoiding the more recent overpowered seeding plants didn't last long. There are a few competitors for Ruby. Headbutter Lettuce and Wasabi Whip are very much up there, but they are in essence slightly lesser versions of pokra, and Squash is snapped as hell when leveled to the point of multiple squashes. But I have to give it to Ruby because it is like a jalapeno on roids. Actually, that doesn't do it justice. It's practically a lawnmower. Dude takes out an entire lane, and if you can't quite get the kill on a zombie, he deals substantial damage and can be used quite often. Oh, and did I mention he costs just 100 sun? Literally, this guy does all this for the same price of a regular Peashooter. Yeah, I think that says it all. Thanks for watching, guys. Give all your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out another video in this end screen, and if you're interested in my musical side, my band and music channels are linked in the description. I've been Golden Vlogspot. See you soon.